You have titled your presentation for EVV CON 2022, Take Your Talk from the Page to the Stage to the Screen. And I would love you to give all our viewers a snippet into what to expect. That's one. And secondly, why you've chosen that topic.
This is a workshop I've given many times, both at Toastmasters and at corporate events and things of that nature. And essentially, we'll talk about ways, most people write their speech as they would an essay or a poem. They just write it out in paragraphs. So we'll talk about ways we can break the speech into individual lines, give each thought its own bubble. We process that differently. And just by taking that one step, the speech can become much more compelling. Then we can add pauses. We underline words for emphasis. And so by just going through this, we have the talk on the page, then we can rearrange it on the page, do what Winston Churchill called psalm form. He read all of his speeches and yet was one of the greatest speakers of all time. And then we'll go into some examples, and I'll have people volunteer and come on screen, and we'll walk through some speaking lines and play with the emphasis and the pauses and landing the humor and playing with the timing. And it's really fun just to watch people engage with these ideas and transform. And if I do my job right, everybody leaves with some insights and feels like they're a better speaker because of it.
Okay, so we want a teaser from you so we could use it to help motivate others to sign up for EVV CON, to expect their virtual to be elevated, coming straight from Dave Breaker, the experienced story sailing or story sailor.
If you're new to Toastmasters, or maybe you've been going to Toastmasters for a while, you've listened to speeches, you've evaluated speeches, and you're certainly interested in improving your public speaking game. At EVV CON, I will be sharing some of the secrets I've learned along the way, how to take your written speech and turn it into a spoken speech that attracts attention, keeps audiences focused on your message, and delights everybody who hears you perform.
So for my own personal gain, would you like to share some tips on how we can be more professional on screen, look more and sound more professional on screen?
One thing is the audio is often more important than the visual. And when we use the tiny little microphone in our laptop, that's usually 2 feet or more away from our face, things tend to get muddy, things tend to get a little mushy, a little harder to hear. We pick up ambient noises. So for example, I have this little lavalier microphone clipped onto my shirt. A little bit better microphone, it does not have to be an expensive one, will free you to focus on your gestures, focus on what you're saying, but this is always the same distance from my mouth. No matter how far away from the screen I get, the audio is always going to be the same. And it's just one thing you can cross off your list right away. Another thing is good lighting. With proper lighting, you can really pump up your appearance. You're not going to be backlit and look like a shadow. And then this is a virtual background right now, and you'll notice that there are no disappearing body parts or anything like that. I've got a green screen behind me with proper lighting on the green screen. I've got lights on my face. It's not a lot of money to do this, but you can really have fun with the virtual backgrounds and some of the nice features that are built into Zoom. But it's not very professional looking when you see people's hands disappear or their hair disappear, and or their face disappears in the middle of a presentation. So I think people are getting into the technology, but they're not doing what they need to on their side to take advantage of it and just have a better virtual presence.
That's 2 tips. Make it 3. Let's have a triad.
A triad of tips. So we've got the microphone, we've got the lights. And then I'm not doing that now because this is a casual conversation, but because I have this lavalier microphone, if I was presenting, ideally I would stand up, but I'm still in my chair, But because I've got this long microphone cable, now if I'm giving a presentation, I have the ability to start over here. I can move across the stage. I can do a lot of things that I would be able to do standing up. And instead of just being a talking head, which is fine for our interview today, but when I actually do my presentation, I will be standing up. I've got a camera on the other side of the room, and I will be presenting as a speaker and not as a Zoom talking head.